any Lions on this call, Leah Lions, we do welcome you to the platform. Now, Wendy, are there anybody else in the grouping that needs to come in?
No, you're good to go.
Okay, thank you so much. So, as a formality, let me go ahead and welcome you onto the platform this evening. My name is Lion Lavinia Wellington Ford, and I am with the Global Leadership Team. We do welcome you to this session, and we hope that you have a wonderful and insightful session. We hope that you participate, you ask your questions. I hope you have come prepared with your questions for us to get into it. Your facilitator this evening will be well known to you, Lan Avaloy Forbes. She is the multiple district chair, Leah chair. So I will, without further ado, turn the session over to her. Lan Avaloy, please go ahead.
Hi, thank you, Lion. So welcome, Leos, and I'm seeing some lions on the call. We're going to go through the officers' presentation, but I'm going to warn you just now, I have my not so nice slides, I thought, and I dropped them in AI to give me a nicer, cleaner look, but AI condensed my stuff. So I'm going to just work with the AI first, and if I notice something has changed, I'll switch to the other one. So bear with me on this one. So as Navinia said, I am Avaloy Forbes. I go by Ava or Avaloy. And I'm here on behalf of the district, your district, and specifically on by the invitation of the district GLT, Global Leadership Team Coordinating Team. I'm delighted to welcome you to today's Leo Club Officers Training. You would have noticed that the notice was upgraded to include all 5 official titled offices. And that's because the other trainings, the Leos for Service Chair and any other board of director position can actually go to the others, but I wanted to cover all of the 5. We basically have under 90 minutes to do that, so I'm going to try my best to cover all of them. But while I'm covering each position, I'm going to drop a handout for each post that gives you a more condensed version, not condensed, expanded version of your roles and responsibilities. So over this next 70 minutes, we're going to walk through the 5 key leadership roles that make a Leo Club function: the president, the vice president, membership chairperson, secretary, and treasurer. So I'm going to start with the president. I'm going to share shortly, but the handouts will have specific information on the specific roles. It contains everything we cover today, plus a full quarterly roadmap for the year, and the references to the various sources that I've used, like the Lions Clubs International Board Policy Manual, Chapter 2, which is everything about the Leo Club program. It's the governing framework for the entire Leo Club program, that is, at the club level, at the district level, and at the multiple district level. And given that now District 60B now is under a Leo district leadership and a multiple district leadership, it's important that you start to get yourself familiar with Chapter 22 of the Board Policy Manual. So keep your handouts. I think they will be useful for this year and will guide you better this year. Of course, handouts can be tweaked. You can add your own touch, because we do operate under the Your Club, Your Way guide as well. So if there are tweaks to your club, that's okay. But make sure it doesn't violate any of the regulations or policies that LCI has set. And for those who are new, because I know there are some new members who have taken on important roles, LCI means Lions Clubs International. So you will see me switch between either the acronym or the full word or full phrase. All right, so let me just go ahead and share screen. I don't know what's going on today. Lan Wendy, I touched the chat to share screen. Something is off today. Very off. But
Sorry?
no, I was saying I pressed chat to share screen, so like something's off. All right, so it's swap presenter view. How does this thing work?
Yeah, we're seeing fine.
Okay, great, great. Because I was seeing something earlier. All right. So like, this is my AI, notebook AI. So I thought this looked cuter. So we're gonna work with the cuter looking one. Um, and of course, this is a slide out of the older one. So we're going to look at why leadership matters, the president, as I said earlier, the vice president, the membership chair, the secretary, the treasurer, and working together and resources, the Leo hierarchy, given that now we have approved a multiple district and policy compliance. And hopefully we have time for question and answer. No, I had set my workout to be 70 minutes. So question and answer is going to be longer than that, but I just had that. And then I will drop the handout. So before I go on, I just want to cue my handouts because I didn't share them with IT. I have them. So let's cue. No, that's screenshot. No, I don't think. Yeah, something is off. Okay, Wendy, I'm stuck on something. All right, let's see. Oh dear God. Share file. All right, the officers training and your handout for president. There we go. All right, so I'm gonna just drop them in one by one as I go, so bear with me on this one. All right, so why leadership matters. The Leo clubs exist to give young people between 12 and 30 years old a place to serve and to develop leadership by doing something meaningful in the world. Not in a classroom, in the real community with real impact. So globally, over 170 or 50,000 Leo members in more than 150 countries, united under two words: we serve. And so the decisions you make this year will shape your club's culture, reputation, and community impact for years to come. So make it worth inheriting. So we talk about youth impact, global impact, and your legacy, because it's really not about titles. All right, so leading with a vision, we're going to start with the president's group. And even if you're not a president, I think it's also good to be here to learn about, what the roles, the core roles entail. You might never know. This might come in quite handy when it is your time to lead. So the president presides over the meetings. They set the vision, they represent the club externally, and holds all officers accountable. One item that is easy to overlook: the annual membership report must be submitted via the Lion portal by July 1. So in the board policy manual, it says July 1, but in fact, the latest should be May 15th. But for those Alpha Leos, it's going to be on between your faculty advisor and your Leo advisor to ensure that that information gets in before July 1 each year. And if that is going to be difficult, speak to your Leo district president or your district Leo chair for advice. But under the supervision of your Leo club advisor, you should be ensuring that you add those information in there before July 1. So that is a hard LCI compliance deadline. Missing it affects the club's good standing and the quality of your administration in the long run. So the quorum rules, let me pull this up on this side. I have it on this side, but I'm sure it's awkward over here. Okay. So the core responsibilities: preside over all general and executive board meetings, set club vision, strategic goals and service agenda, represent the club at Lions, zone, district, and international functions. Okay, so I see what AI did there. It condensed my words, but you're also to be representing at the Leo region meetings, the Leo district meetings, and the Leo multiple district meetings, and other Leo international functions. Hold officers accountable to deadlines, mentor incoming officers, sign off on official correspondence and documents, and ensure the VP, the vice president, identifies leadership development opportunities. And when I get to the vice president, you'll see what this entails. And ensure club remains in good standing in terms of dues paid and reports filed. Ensure annual membership report, that's what I was talking about earlier, is submitted by July 1. I like to add for the Leos conduct and skills required. Conduct, because decorum is important. When you hold an officer position, there are certain behaviors, that you have to put forward. So for me, I'm just adding a little flavor of me to it. Like if I was your advisor, these are some of the things I would say to you. So conduct yourself very well while you're in office and even while you're not in office, but particularly because the lens is going to be on you for the next year. So open on time in terms of starting on time, apply Robert Rules of Order. That is our standard text for protocol. And if you don't get it right, that is fine. Over time, this is a developmental program. So over time, you can work at it until, you've got it. Because I think with protocol, it's about practice. So you practice at home. My grandma used to say, practice a yard before you go abroad. So that's what you do at the club level. You practice protocol until you get it right. Remain neutral during debate as the president. Vote only to break a tie. And delegate clearly. One task, one owner, one deadline. You can become overwhelmed as a president if you do not learn the art of delegating. And if you're not sure, reach out to your advisor and ask your advisor, what are some ways in which you can delegate? You can even delegate the delegation to your advisor, because your advisor might have a broader picture of your strengths and weaknesses as individuals and might be able to say to you, try Susan, who is the committee chair for, fundraiser, because she's good at doing stuff, in that area. And follow up at the next meeting. Make sure you're following up on items that were raised at the previous meeting, because if you don't follow up and you don't have those regular meetings, things might fall by the wayside, and young people might become disengaged. In another way, it might get boring, and yeah, the year just kind of just trickle down and waste. Skills to build while you're president: public speaking, strategic thinking, because this is where strategy is important. Conflict resolution, there might be some personality clashes, and relationship building. Now, some of this training you can get on the Lion portal through the Learn section. You can learn about conflict resolution. You can start to begin to learn about what are the techniques for public speaking, and you can also pick up information on strategic thinking in that portal, and it's free. And you can access it anytime on your own time and pace yourself. So meeting quorum rules, I just added that. For the general majority of members in good standing, +1. So if it's majority members, say it's 10, it would be 5 + 1 for your general quorum. And for board meetings, it's president or VP plus any 3 other board members. Any questions? Because this is the only slide for president. You can ask questions now, or you can wait until later. No questions? You can open your mic or you can raise your hand. Come, guys, I don't want to be the only person talking today. Not really fun. Yes, go ahead.
Yes, I had a question. You said that the majority of members, is there like a certain percentage? Or
Half
how
plus
do they do it? Sorry?
half plus 1. So
Okay,
50%.
thank
So I
you.
would say if majority of your members in good standing is 10, it's half of 10, that's 5 plus 1, 6.
And what does in good standing refer to?
Okay, that's a good question. So good standing is if you have club dues, even if it's $1 US or 50 cents US, um, your members are expected to pay their dues by a certain time. And if they have paid their dues, then they are eligible to vote. The same way as a club, if you pay your club dues to the Leo district, when it's time to vote, the Leo district is going to look at you and say, okay, you are in good standing because you've paid your $25 dues to the district, so you can vote on this matter. But if the Leo district says to you, I'm sorry, you haven't paid any of your dues, you're not in good standing, so unfortunately you cannot vote this time around. So it's something like that.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Earlier I dropped the vice president's handout in. So I just dropped the president's handout inside the chat. So you can also, for presidents, you can look at that portion. So my bad. Yeah. All right, so we're gonna move. So yes, go ahead.
Hi, Lion Avaloy. I just have a question in regards to committees, right? So, I know that there are certain clubs who have regular committees. So you have the different committees that function in the club, like the membership committee, service committee, and so on. What is the norm for presidents being on those, and also as it relates to special committees? So creating of a committee for a special purpose, is it that the president has to be on all of those, including special committees as well, or is it an optional thing depending on their discretion?
Okay, so you mentioned membership service and which other one?
Well, there's for my club specifically, we also have marketing. We have a marketing and communications committee, and we have I think that's it, marketing and communications service membership. There's a leadership as well that the VP sits on. And then we also have special committees such as, if there's like an anniversary, there's a committee in charge of planning the anniversary or things like that. So what's the norm on presidents sitting on those as well as special committees?
Okay, so presidents are ex officios, meaning that the presidents can go into any meeting they want, but they don't really lead them. The committee chair leads those meetings, but the president should be kept apprised of what is going on all committees. So they are a member of all committees. And you guys have a lot. Maybe you have a big membership, like a good number. So you have membership and service as in standing committees and leadership, and then you have your marketing and comms, and you said special. These are a lot of committees. Remember I said earlier, your club, your way. So how you structure your club in terms of committees and stuff, that's fine. But for those of you who don't have those kind of committees, don't get anxious. Your structure in your club might be a little different from the structure that's Rihanna's, right? Rihanna's club.
Yes.
Yeah. Which club is that, Rihanna?
Leo Club of St. Andrews, Grenada.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, so the president serves on all committees, but he or she is not the chairperson of those committees, but they serve because information is power, and as a president, they need to be able to defend whatever programs or schedules that you're putting together and be aware, because your president is like your CEO. That person is your PR. That person is the one that will go to meetings and speak on behalf of the club. So they can be on any committee. Does that answer?
Thank you. Yes, it does.
Okay, great. Any other? No. All right.
Not seeing any more line of alloy, and I'm not seeing anything in the chat.
Okay, great. All right. So the next group is the vice president. Now, the vice president's role, initially when I was putting this PowerPoint together, I was putting in things that I've heard of, and I might say, you know what, go back to the documentation that is our framework, which is the LCI Board Policy Manual, as well as the Lions Clubs International Leo Handbook. Because some people don't see anything for vice president, so they just assign some stuff to the vice president. But I wanted to get it right this year because I've been hearing some things that I'm not sure if it's the case. So I went back. So the official LCI Leo program handbook says that the Leo vice president assists the president throughout the year. And that's a big assist, and I'll go through what that means because sometimes we don't understand what that means. It doesn't mean back talking or starting rumors about the president, maybe the president not listening to you as the VP. In this case, you need to be supportive. When you do not agree, you pull the president one side and have a conversation about the issues that you're not agreeing with. But on the front of it, you need to be supportive of your president. Although you are vice president and the president is leading, there can be a way of communicating with your president, either because you've been hearing that the membership might not like this move and explain to the president, the membership not liking this move, but the president might then be able to share the strategy and the tactic behind why it is they want to implement what they want to implement. And because now you've understood that or have that conversation, you're able to say to those who were a little disgruntled, trust the president because the president is onto something here. Let's see how this works. So your role is very, very supportive. And when you do not agree, don't let it fester. Speak to the president. Ask for a one-on-one audience and speak to the president about it. Assume the president's duties if they cannot complete the term. And we have seen that this year with the Leo district where Leo Rahim, as vice president, had to step into a role, perhaps didn't expect it because we have never had a situation like that before. But in a way, sometimes things happen for us to remind ourselves that we need to prep our Leos that when there's no president, a Leo vice president has to step into that role. So the leadership mandate is what it is that the vice president has, which is to identify leadership development opportunities for the club members. So look at your club members, their strengths, what could they do well with? If there's certain training in certain areas, you could be grooming them for, let me not use that word grooming, you could be training them for advanced roles later on. So you could look into the Learn app and see, okay, what is there that I could send this Leo to make sure that they begin to be equipped with the information that is required. And then you have ensure members are encouraged to participate in LCI leadership trainings. So whether at the Leo district level, the Lions district level, and Lions district, when I say Leo district, I mean the Leo region could have something, the Leo district president's level could have something. And at the Lions district, it could be the zone, the region, and the cabinet or the GLT, as in this case, the GLT is having a training session. And then there are others that are self-paced and free on the Lion portal and on the Lions University. So the mandate therefore is to assist the president, lead the leadership development section of the club's program, and ensure that members are encouraged to participate and at least are aware of the opportunities. So that's your mandate as a vice president. But over the time, different Omega and Alpha clubs have done a lot with the vice president role because maybe it's just too, maybe it needs a little bit more, especially if it's a Leo who has some more time that can channel that energy into other areas. So here are some recommended practices. Not necessarily mandatory, so I'm not going to tell you that you must go to your club and say, I'm supposed to be doing these things. No. And even if it is that you're supposed to be doing these things, it might be a conversation that you need to have with your club so that they might just, steer in a different path if it is that they weren't doing the mandatory thing, which is the leadership section of it. So the recommended is to liaise with the committee chairs. So perhaps the president might say, let's split the committee chairs. You deal with the service ones, I deal with the standing ones as the overseer. Because right now I'm swamped and I couldn't manage all of that. If you have two vice presidents, then perhaps one could lead with the leadership, that's the first VP. And the second VP then could do the others. Liaise with the committee chair, keep projects on track, support agenda preparation and board meeting. Yes, we have heard that secretaries do the support agenda preparation, but the Leo secretary has a lot to do. So if the VP could also step in to help with preparation of the agenda and board meeting reports, that is also on-the-job training for both VPs because they will not understand what the president's role requires. It's almost like an understudy. Represent the club at community events in the president's absence, collaborate with the membership chair on member engagement, and maintain succession readiness and prepare transition materials. So it's an understudy in understanding all aspects of the club and moving on. I mean, when I was vice president, I remember actually all of this. My president was very busy. I think he was working, so I had to step in sometimes to do his reports. I did not agree with some of his vision, but spoke to him one-on-one, got where he was going, and I said, got it. And once I got it, I communicated it to the members when it is he wasn't around. And that I thought worked very well. Just be that support. When we take on roles, even when we are leaders, and all of us are leaders, even the person who wipes the floor at my office, that person is a leader too, and their voice counts. And there are times when they are team lead and I am team support, even though you might think, okay, Ava has a higher rank at work, so, you know, the janitor shouldn't be leading something. No, 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 no. In a project, that person is the team lead and I am team support. And you have to be flexible to operate between the two. As team support, I listen to what I'm being advised and I ask, okay, what can I do? How can I support you? Where else do you want me to fill in? That's what team support does. And so the vice president must always be in that mindset. What can I do? How can I help? Membership chair, do you have this covered? Is there anything you want me to help with? Do you want me to delegate anything to someone I think is strong in this area? So the VP is basically helping with the communication and the leadership of the president. Don't go over the president, but say to the president, given that these are extra assignments, is it okay for me to help the membership chair with delegation and stuff? So there's always communication. So the VP has to be flexible with conversation and communication between whichever offices that he or she is helping with, so that the president doesn't think that you are the president. Okay, Navina said she would monitor the chat for me. Thank you very much. I appreciate. Execution, conduct, and skill development. So be perpetually ready to step in into the presidency. Stay as briefed as the president. And presidents, please do not get antsy to the fact that your VP must be perpetually ready to step into your post. It's like a wheel, and if it is that you are down, you do expect that the club will still run even if you're down. It's like in drama school we are told the show must go on because you are leading the show. If something happens to you, somebody needs to fill in. I remember I was doing something here at UE Talawa, they call it Talawa, and I was not feeling well. I'm doing a monologue and my belly started hurting me. I think it was anxiety. Maybe I was getting anxious. And the person who oversee us, he said, Jody, are you ready to step in if Ava can't do it? And the person was ready. But you as the lead can't feel upset about it because the show must go on. And if it is that she can't step in, you know, the representation of the piece that we were doing and what we wanted to get across wouldn't get across. We would not be represented. And more than ever, it's about the representation. So if I'm down and my team member can step in for me, I am very happy about that. And that's something as president you need to keep in the back of your mind. That your vice presidents are not trying to take over your position. They are there as your support and are doing such. Facilitation. So they're there to help with facilitation on the committee levels, if it is that you assign them to the committee levels, and facilitation in terms of the leadership sessions and opportunities. Actively identify and refer members to LCI training opportunities and build a training calendar at the start of the year. So you need to also work out a little program that will work. And you can see the roadmap that I have in the handout, how, you know, what your quarters look like from quarter 1 to quarter 4. And follow up on leadership commitments at every meetings. Don't just say you're going to, give us a training calendar and then you don't follow through with getting the persons who are going to do the training. Even if it's you, then let us know that you're going to have these trainings, find out our available times, and put the work together so that we can have a productive leadership committee and training, and act with initiative. See gaps and fill them. So if you see gaps, say it to your president and fill them. So your key skills to develop here: leadership coaching, talent identification. So you need to start having an eye, watching your members, understanding them. So the role of identifying the type of talent your members have is not left on the membership chair alone, but as VP, you should be also looking. Succession planning, facilitation, resilience and adaptability, the ability to be able to just move between roles, knowledge of LCI training programs. So it's almost like you're the center of a netball game if you play netball or used to play netball. All right, and then we have the membership chair. So while I look for the handout, are there any questions on the VP's role?
And there's one in the chat. Good night. Can Alpha Leo of our community club take on the role of president?
Can an Alpha? Go again? Sorry. Oh, I'm seeing it in the chat. Can an
Sorry,
Alpha
you've seen it?
club take on the... Yes. So the only community-based Alpha Leo club I am aware of is Hiranaro Plains in St. Lucia. I'm not sure if there's another one being formed or created that I'm unaware of, but that's the only one I know that exists in 60B. It's community-based, but it's an Alpha Leo club. They've had presidents, and funny enough, it's one of their past presidents who reached out to us in Jamaica from where he was and donated funds from his university to the Hurricane Melissa relief efforts. You're 17. Yes. So are you in a Alpha Leo club, Jessica? You can open mic if you want. You're not quite 18, so the end Clarendon Leo Club. Oh, so your club in Clarendon is a Omega. So Omega Leos are 18 to 30. So you're not yet eligible for membership in the Clarendon Leo Club. So it used to be the case that if you have graduated from high school and you're 17, LCI used to offer you an exemption. As Leo Michael Imani Swain from Lime Key Cyber had graduated in the pandemic and was named the president, the charter president. And we wrote to LCI, but the following year, they changed the rules completely to 18 to 30 for the Omega Leo Club. There is an Alpha Cyber Leo Club, but I think that's school-based. You could talk to Grand Cayman Lions and see if you could join that one until you reach 18. But yeah, at 17, you're an Alpha and wouldn't be eligible for membership in the Clarendon Leo Club. Sorry. Any other question, Lion Lavinia?
Didn't see any more. Oh, one moment, please. No, my mistake. There's no other raised hand, and not seeing any other chat right now.
Okay, all right. So I'll move on to the membership chair. Thanks, Navinia. And thanks, Jessica, for that question, because it used to happen, but it doesn't happen anymore. Okay, so the membership chair. What do they say about the membership chair? It's the engine of the club. If the membership chair is not doing its work, it's a new position, but somebody used to take on the role of recruiting. So the membership chairperson, formally recognized by the Lions Club International Standard Leo Club Constitution as an optional position. reporting to the vice president or the president of the club. So whichever. So earlier I'd said that the membership chair could report to the vice president. When I said the vice president could check on the membership chair on things, or the membership chair could be asked to report to the president. Why? In the sense that if it is that the president says the service committees, you handle those VP, and the standing committees like membership and some others, I will handle those, it means that the membership chair will report to the president. So it can be any of the two, depending on how you structure your operations for your club. So what do I have here? The membership chair owns recruitment, retention, and the club's public profile, but it's not the only office that helps with club growth. A matter of fact, club growth should be everybody's business. So set real specific targets when you're a membership chair, because you do have targets that you have to meet across the board as membership chair. You're like the lifeline of the club, where you help to recruit members, you retain them, and you engage them, because engagement and retention are very important to the club remaining healthy. So you have a lot going on for you. There's a new sponsorship policy in effect from January 1, 2026. New Leo members can be sponsored by another active Leo, not a Lions member. Both must be recorded in the Lion portal within 90 days of the new members' joint date. And I'll get to that shortly. I think it's on the other slide. So full rules are in your handout, which I have already posted in the chat. So when you are a membership chair, you develop annual strategy and build prospect pipeline, and you welcome new members personally and assign a buddy. So the orient section there, I would have called onboarding on my other set of slides, my slide deck. But here, the lovely Notebook LM AI has refashioned my membership chair slide. So you'll see me going back on my notes and looking at this lovely presentation here. But if you do see onboarding on the handout, it's the orientation. You know, you welcome them personally and you assign them buddies and whatever else. In some Lions Club, they even assign them to groups. I know one club, I think they have Pride, Pride, and members going to Club P, Team P, Team R, Team I, Team D, and Team E. So if you have that kind of program, which is an engaging program, then it is that you would do all of that assignment early. In the welcoming, you could give them you could print their online certificate, because Leo members, once you become new members, we can download your certificates off the Lion portal. You could send them that in the welcome package. You could create your own welcome letter. I know a particular club that does that. They have a lovely welcome letter, and in it too, you could put their membership ID number, because that number is important. Or what a certain club is working on is designing a little card that they will send in your mail. You can print it out onto something hard if you want, or keep it in the email forever. So it will have your membership ID, when you join date. So stuff that you might need later on if somebody asks you about that kind of information. Engage, organize appreciation and recognition activities, and retain, set and track targets, new members, retention rate, net growth. So have all of that. So if you're a membership chair, it's really time to start thinking about a strategy in terms of recruitment, what kind of style you're going to use for onboarding, because you want to make them feel like they belong and that they've walked into something, wow. If you can get the wow factor this year, then, break it down in pieces. Maybe this year you're going to work on the recruitment aspect. Next year you're going to work on the wow factor for, the welcome package. And another year you work on something else. So it could be a strategy that you put out for your club, and you say to them, okay, I'm going to work on recruitment for year 1. And so whomever comes in as membership chair for year 2 and 3 can pick up from you, or they can tweak your plan. I don't suggest doing something completely new. So this is something I would suggest that you take to the board and get the board's approval, so the club know that this can be something that you continue with, because you know, these days of starting all over because you never liked something on the planet or it wasn't your idea, you throw it out. I I don't subscribe to that kind of thing because it doesn't really build a healthy environment or build healthy processes in young people. When it is we need to start working together and start, you know, moving away from silos and trying to, you know, work as teams. Speed metric, follow up within 48 hours of contact with anybody you're recruiting in terms of orienting, register new member, sponsors, active Leos in the land portal within 90 days of join date, effective January 26th. Reach out personally to any member missing 2+ meetings. Something could be wrong, check in with them. And I think sometimes it is a check-in that works. As Leo advisor in my second year of a very new club, I wasn't hearing from a little vibrant firecracker member. So I gave her a call and she was really going through a lot. And she said, "Thank you so much for reaching out. You know, I know you haven't heard from me, and rather than just not call me, you decide, you know, to give me a call." And that was appreciated. No, some of them never tell you, "Thank you," that's okay. But those small things that we do with our members actually seem to work. So be consistent with reaching out. This is not about somebody you like or your spirit tech. This is, you have a role of as membership chair, and your role is to keep the unit together. So you check in. You're almost like the shrink of the club, you know, watching the non-verbal cues, watching the verbal cues, and reaching out to each member. And keep people's business to yourself. Do not spread rumors. Do not spread people's, you know, personal things. You'll earn their trust for even longer and probably build an even greater friendship in the long run. And set and track targets, new members, retention rates, we've said that, and report statistics transparently at every meeting. Normally, you are given a few minutes to report on your progress as a membership chair. That's when you report your stats. So at the bottom, key calendar beats, October 2026, Leo Membership Growth Month. So you need to start planning in your first quarter for that kind of launch and that kind of strategy you're going to, you know, put in for membership growth. December 5th, 2026 is International Leo Day. I'm not sure if the Leo region is going to do something where we go out and have fun, or it's going to be, well, we know that the constitutional era, the Leo Advisory Panel usually have something online, but you know, I think this year we need to get back to how Jamaica and Cayman and others used to do it, where we go out. So maybe the weekend we actually out at some river or some fun thing, ATV, whatever the case is. And then Leo Awareness Month, that's April 2027 for you guys. That could be multiple district or Leo district putting on events. I love the Leo parties, online Leo parties. I don't know why, but I seem to love them. But you can create your own schedule of other things to do and have fun. Make sure that this year is a year of fun. All right, so here are the reporting. Oh, we're at secretary. Wait. Oh, so membership was one slide. Okay. Let's see if there was anything on my other deck that I needed to share. My God. Next time I will do the spruce up early, so I notice what it has changed. Okay, so for key skills to develop here, it is interpersonal skills and relationship building, which I mentioned earlier, outreach, marketing, and social media. So you might have to talk to your marketing chair, you know, if you don't have skills in that area to help you out with the outreach. I know for a particular club, the membership chair and the marketing chair and the president are always communicating because those three have a set of skills, marketing and social media skills, that the membership chair might not completely have or aced, and so she outsources the marketing section of her portfolio to get it done right and looking good. So you might want to do that. And this is what I was talking about, working in teams. Data tracking and analytic thinking is another skill. Empathy and active listening, event planning in terms of the orientation and the onboarding and the recognition. And persuasive communication and storytelling. Club membership chair has got to hit to the you need to be able to tell stories to be able to connect with each member. And we're not talking lies, we're talking good, real stories to be able to connect. So it means that you as a membership chair also need to know what's been going on in your club so you can share that with those who you're recruiting and stuff like that. So it's a nice little job, I think. If you like peopling, if you don't like peopling, it might be a little harder for you, but you can learn those skills. And that's what you're here as a leader to do, to learn new skills. So keep an open mind if you're not very good with peopling. All right, so we're on to the secretary. Now the secretary, that's another engine of the club because the secretary is the oh, sorry. Do we have any questions for the membership chair? No? Okay, that one sounds easy. Okay, so the secretary is the institutional memory of the club. No, that's another, I think,
Hello?
yes, sure, okay.
Can you? Oh, yes. I was just wondering, you had mentioned something about a day for like going to the river or ATV or something. Can you remind me of that day, please? That would be a good suggestion.
International Leo Day is December
That's
5th.
right.
That's a Saturday. So let me tell you, I don't like to talk about in my day, but sometimes there are some good practices from our past that if Leo's in the present here might find a way to tweak it and to bring it back into their experience. So let me just go through it quickly. When we had what we call secretariat, or the secretariat, headed by a Leo Region Secretary Treasurer, each club would show up to the final meeting of the year and we would bid, or we would show up to the first meeting of the year and bid for certain meetings and events. So we would bid for the 4 quarterly meetings, we'd bid for 2 president councils meeting, I would bid for the Leo Fun Day. The Leo Fun Day used to happen on December 5th, the weekend of December 5th. So if December 5th fall on a Friday, then the Saturday, Sunday would be what we'll be bidding for. The clubs that bid will come with the nicest fun things to do. So either we're going to Dunn's River, we're going to Portland, where we'll have jerk and live on or stay on for the overnight and have fun. Just crazy amounts of, not crazy as in bad crazy, that's my generation's language, but to have fun, really to have camaraderie. So it's not just my club alone, but they're like 10 or 2 or 3 clubs just coming together and have fun. No, if you're the only Leo club on your little rock, that's fine too. This is an opportunity for you to get all of your Leos. You could go hiking. You could just even go for, well, nobody make it too regular. Make it something that you don't normally do, so that your Leos can have fun. Now, there's a particular club that I am aware of that does a retreat every year. But the retreat is not usually the December 5th date, but they have a retreat every year. They have cake cutting. If they got any awards that particular year, they do presentations or the show around the award before it is stored at whatever location. They have pajama nights. They have what else do they have? They have different, because I got an itinerary of a particular weekend that they were having, and the itinerary was loaded. It even had a little training on how to do like, videography or photography, to make sure that whatever the club is putting out, each member from that retreat knows how to do it well. So you could do little stuff even when you're doing that fun day that is still training, but it's still cool. You're going out and having fun, you're having this connection with a movie night or whatever. Just put a nice fun day together, whether it's for one club or for a lot of you. But it's really good to have one. I enjoyed mine, and so that's why I decided to share that one. Not to tell you to do it, because we're not volunteering anything, we're just sharing. Because those experiences matter. Every time I look at my Leo Fun Day days, I have very good memories. So that's why I shared that one.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. All right, let me drop the secretary one in the chat. Lion, Nadisha, how am I, not Nadisha, Navinia, how am I doing for time?
Let me do a quick check, Line Avaloy, and tell you. And while my mic is open, I'll also let you know that I'm not seeing any other hands or any comments in the chat.
Okay, great. All right, so I've just dropped the Leo handout for secretary in the chat. For those of you who are interested in doing the role or have taken on the role. So for the secretary, as I said, they're the institutional memory of the club, and they do have reporting timelines. That's where AI started my slides. Oh, no. This thing is doing its own thing. Okay, yes, it did. It started at reporting timeline records. Wow. Okay. So 48, so they have timelines. I wish they had started out with other things, but let's go with this. The secretary's role is built around two things: accurate records and timely reporting. So I guess that's why this is the first thing it's showing. So 48 hours, distribute agendas at least 48 hours before meetings. So if 4 days before you haven't heard anything from the president, Leo Secretary, please just nudge the president and say, President, remember we're having meeting in 4 days or in 5 days. Have you worked on or have you begun to work on the agenda for the meeting? It could be actually a reminder. The president might have not remembered. And can be involved in so many other things that they forget. And so that might be a good reminder to the president to start working on it. But it's good if you, after you receive what the president wants to discuss, that you tweak it and release it 48 hours before the meeting. No, I'm aware that there are some presidents who already know how they use PowerPoints, and the person know who I'm talking, and they might already have done their stuff on their PowerPoint. That's fine. What the president needs to understand is that the secretary now needs to get that document and circulate that document to the club members 48 hours before meetings. So it's just working with the different personalities and the different structures. So don't get flustered if it is that they're doing it themselves. You just need to know that you circulate it afterwards. Distribute accurate minutes. So that's you. Some of us use the Zoom meeting and Zoom does a good summary, but even with the summary, you have to go in there and check, make sure that the names are spelled correctly because sometimes Zoom doesn't get it right. My name comes with an S or a Y. You can fix that before it goes out. And some things might not quite be accurate because it probably doesn't understand, the conversation. But fix it and send it out. I like to say just focus on the decision, focus on what was proposed, if there were any dissenting voices, what the main idea was. If it was a personality attack, which is we call ad hominem, no need to include that. But if it was a legitimate, relevant disagreement with the proposal, that maybe these things need to be fixed, so approved in principle as the decision or approved or pending these 3 items coming to us. So it doesn't have to be a long minutes. It could be proposal, this is the ruling or the decision. Are there things to do before the board fully approves it or the club fully approves it? Yes, no, you write it down, send it off. It doesn't need to be very long. And a lot of us, we shy away from the secretary role because we think, it's a lot of work because we have to write these long sentences. It doesn't have to be. You could call a meeting with the board team and say, okay, can we do a note version or a condensed version or an annotated version of the minutes? Because these minutes I'm looking at, this 12-page, 14-page minutes for one meeting, 1 hour meeting. I don't think I can manage this kind of detail. And let your team agree or disagree. Engagement and communication is important. 30 days. Process membership additions and drops in the Lion portal. That's 30 days. And submit required LCI activity reports and logs. The district has a rule that you submit your monthly reports before the 10th of the other month. So if you've done activities in July, before August 10th, they're expecting that you would put in all of that information. Now, your club, your way, you might have a little variation to that, but try, if the district wants that, there are reasons why they have required that. So try to comply. If you're unable to comply, speak to your Leo District Region Chair and your zone chair or your advisor to explain, you know, if you are delayed or otherwise. 90 days, process new member sponsor records in Lion Portal. So to add the new member, like the other day, we had April 25th, the Worldwide Induction Day. And since January 1, we're able to add Leo sponsors along with the new member. That never used to happen before. So you now have the opportunity to add the member and then add their sponsors, and they have to be Leo sponsors, they can't be Lion sponsors, to the portal, but you need to do this within 90 days. It's best practice, and LCI is asking that you comply with their policy on that. And submit annual membership report. It's ideally May 15th, but I am using the board policy manual as I see it, so that's why I'm delivering the message from that. Submit annual membership report via Lion Portal under advisor supervision by July 1. Standards of record and secretaries toolkit. Let me see what's in the chat. I see. Okay. 30 minutes. Okay. All right. Thank you, Navina. Oh, and she was saying in the chat, AI now helps with minutes. Yes. So you can have one of the note takers come in and take your minutes, or Zoom takes it for you if you want to use the Zoom version. But thank you for that, Navinia. Professional standards, minutes, record decisions, not debates, remain objective. So no ad hominem, no attack on personalities must be recorded. Never alter approved minutes without a formal motion. Acknowledge incoming official correspondence within 3 days. That's 72 hours, I think. Not a math person. And treat all membership data with strict confidentiality. So just the same way the membership chair has to treat membership things or information, the secretary also has to treat the membership data with strict confidentiality. So key tools for this: the Lions portal, and here's the login for all reporting, the LCI Standard Leo Club Constitution, which you can find a board policy manual page, not page, but chapter 22. The first couple pages are the overall, but don't skip those because those are important. I've heard people complaining about the Lions Club not doing certain things, but it is in black and white that the Lions Club doesn't have to do certain things. So make sure you pay attention to the entire chapter. The board policy manual, chapter 22, the policy framework, they do suggest that we use the Roberts Rule of Order for parliamentary authority. And you can use Google Drive and other cloud storage drive to organize and date your files. Something is blocking my thing here. Let me see. Oh, organize dated files for seamless year-end transition. So that is the tools that you require. And you can add AI as well. You know, your personal assistant, AI, who comes in and helps you take your notes. If it's too sensitive, though, that's my caution. If it is people's personal data, you have to remember the Data Protection Act and make sure that you're not sharing certain things with AI that AI really shouldn't have access to. On to the treasurer, but while I move on to the treasurer, are there any questions for the secretary? None? Oh, okay. All right, so the treasurer, I think, is yes, Mia.
Yes, sorry. I had a question and mentioned that you have 30 days to process member additions/drops. I know for member additions to be based on join dates, but like how would you determine if a member has dropped or is just not inactive at that time?
Okay, go again. You said 30 days to process membership additions.
Additions or drops. For additions, it will be based on join date, but how would you determine if a member has a dropped or is not or is inactive? Like how would you differentiate?
Okay, you have to go through that process of writing the member, alerting to them that you notice that they haven't been coming to meetings or to activities. or haven't explained the makeup rule, because there are makeup rules. They could actually have attended other meetings to make up the rule for not showing up to certain kinds of meetings. So if none of that, if there's inactivity in those areas, you could write to them to say you notice, the club or the board has noticed an inactivity, and you give them a first letter saying if, would you like to come to the meeting, or would you like for our membership chair to reach out to you? Because maybe the membership chair has been trying and not successful. And then it goes through a process. A second letter could go out. And it depends on your bylaws too, because some of you are already very established clubs, so you might also have a very established bylaws that says how you treat with dropping members. So, but if you don't have one of the best things to do is to make sure that there's natural justice, and natural justice means that the process to terminate their membership is fair. They haven't paid dues, they're not showing up to meetings, there are no makeup meetings. You document that in your first letter, but please be respectful. Because it could mean they're ill, they could be overwhelmed, they could be having a mental situation, still ill. So you need to still be kind. Something I am going to say to you if I'm training you or mentoring you is to be kind with how it is that we engage each other, because we really don't know what is going on in each other's lives. So you send that first letter, no response. You send a second one. Maybe you could follow it up with a call or a visit. So for example, you know that they study on campus and you might see them in class. You say, hey, what's going on? And they might share with you that they weren't happy with something in previous years, and so they don't think this is cut out for them, or they don't think they belong. And you could engage them about whether or not they would like to drop, because you've been trying to communicate and haven't received a response. And they could then say to you, yes, I would like to drop, but they could say that they prefer to go at large. So you go back to the board, you say this person is asking for 6 months or a year, and the board can decide to give them a year or not. If the board decides otherwise, it means that you need to send a third letter to say, unfortunately, we have discussed this because you owe dues every 2 or 3 years in a row and blah, blah, blah. Just make the case, a proper case. Unfortunately, based on our bylaws and the Constitution, we are terminating your membership. Thank you for your service that you have given us over the years, and we wish you all the best. Yes?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, well. Any other questions?
Avalon, yes, there's one in a comment asking what do you mean by acknowledging incoming correspondence within the 3 days.
Okay. Sometimes your Leo region chair writes you, your Leo district president writes you, your zone chairs, your district. It's good to acknowledge, receive, noted. I know there's a Leo in Grenada. If I send him something, that's Raheem, yes. Raheem normally follows up with received or noted. It's an acknowledgement that I have received your communication, and I guess he'll respond to it. If it's something that he needs to respond to, he says, I'll get back to you. That is good communication, and it's good practice too to acknowledge. Some of us lions, we don't always do it. Sorry, but you're in a developmental program, so things that we forget that we have been doing consistently, maybe it's good if you start earlier and younger, so that when you get to my age, you don't forget, and it becomes practice, and very good practice as well, to acknowledge people's correspondence, to say you've received it and it will be forwarded to the board or to the general meeting, or we will act on it, whatever. Just indicate one sentence. Yes, received and will act. Received and noted. Yes? That's it? Any other questions?
No other comments or questions, please.
Okay, I realize I have a notation at the bottom of this screen that says secretary must verify valid makeup credits within 13 days before or after a missed meeting via approved LCI activities. And the LCI activities, which was on my lovely slide, where is the link button? No, it's not on this one. Okay, so what they were is, like, as I explained, a Leo district meeting, alliance meeting, like a cabinet meeting, a council meeting, a zone meeting, a region meeting, you could also be attending the convention, the Lions convention, and miss the meeting. But it also said something in my notes, and I don't know if I have it here, that if you are called on national duty, either to play sports, whatever, jury duty, whatever other duties that would have superseded or would have taken you away from going to a Leo meeting, those things must be understood as makeup and not necessarily absent. I think it's on I think the full list is on the handout for the secretary, so you have the full list of what can be used as a valid credit for makeup. So I have it listed in the document. I just don't have it right in front of me. I didn't print all of them. All right. On to the next. We did that. Okay, so we're on to treasurer, the financial steward. So the treasurer is the financial manager. Even unintentional can permanently damage a club's reputation if it is that, you know, the financial management of the club is not done properly. A lot of you have your accounts with your Lions Club, and that's fine too, but you still need a treasurer to be keeping track of what is in the Lions Club, although the Lion treasurer could also be doing that too. But it's good practice for you, as if your banker is the Lions Club, and the Lions Club also keeps their record. They are usually audited every year, so you should be good. If you do have your accounts on your own, same process. So both of you might have different structure, but it's the same process. So these are obligations, a financial stewardship of your club. These are your obligations. It's not a preference, it's not optional. So let's see if we can go through these. So you have two accounts. Usually you're supposed to be managing two structured accounts according to the LCI board policy manual, the administrative account and the activity/project account. The source of funds for the admin is usually membership dues, not usually, is membership dues, and permitted uses, admin costs, LCI levy, reimbursement to sponsoring Lions Club, no. Why I have that there is because, as I said, you need to read your board policy manual. There are clubs that could actually pay their own levies, but the practice here in District 60B is that the Lions pay those levies. So things could be different. Sometimes we don't realize that in some areas we've got it very, very good. See, I spelled my commingle wrong, but you know, I'll work with it. Never commingle with personal funds. Never commingle with the activity account. So those are some of the things that are strictly prohibited for the administrative account. Now, on the activity side, the source of funds, these are funds raised from the public, and there are rules about that. 100% of the funds you collected from the public or raised from the public must be used on the public. So any project that you have, the money must go back to that. If it is, for example, you received money for, like, look at our case, Hurricane Melissa, and say in 2 months we have Hurricane Dawn. You cannot take the money that was sent for Hurricane Melissa to work on Hurricane Dawn, because the money that you got actually was earmarked for use for the victims of Hurricane Melissa, and Hurricane Dawn is a new phenomena, new project. Yes? Permitted uses, public service projects, and strictly prohibited actions, funds must not benefit the club directly or any member. And I have the source as per board policy manual, chapter 22, I think subsection, no, that's clause, head. Protecting the funds, operations and authorization. So no part, so there's admin, no part of net income raised from the public shall be used directly or indirectly to benefit the club. So no expenditure without prior board authorization and written receipt. So some of you might have a WhatsApp group that does your board discussions and decisions. Well, if it is that you want to spend $5,000 out of your public funds or your admin fund, the board needs to approve the expenditure. And that's majority of your board. So for example, it's 10 of you on the board. majority would be 5 plus 1. That's 6. That's majority. And once the majority approves, then the treasurer, along with a second signatory, is supposed to be able to, write that check or spend that money. So dual authorization on all checks and bank transfers, always. So if you're opening your own account here in Jamaica, I think our lines always tell us that we need to open checking accounts. I think that's the method they have used because it then requires, we can then ask for a dual signature on those checks and bank transfers. But now we have online banking, and you do have online banking where it requires 2 or more signatures to release the fund. So you could still have a regular savings account and require 2 or 3 signatures on the online banking. It depends on what kind of financial area it means, financial structure or platform that is being used in your country. Radical Transparency presents written treasurer's report at every board and general meeting. I think this is in the board policy manual as well. Arrange annual independent financial review and maintain records for 5+ years. In Jamaica, it's 7 years for records, for financial records, but it could be less for some territories. But I know for Jamaica, it's 7 years. Any questions on the treasurer? No?
So far, Lion Avalon, and just to put in that we are nearing our scheduled time, just
Great.
mindful of that, please.
Yes. Well, I asked a question, so we might not have any questions at the end. So all 5 of you, meaning 5 offices, president, vice president, treasurer, secretary, membership chair, along with your remaining board of directors, operate under the same governance foundation: LCI Board Policy Manual, Chapter 22, your club constitution, and your club's bylaws. That is your shared framework. That is what you operate on. I see something in the chat.
There's just one comment asking for clarification, Avalon. Are you seeing it?
Okay, Mia says, would donations be considered funds to be allocated to the activity account? Donations that the person said, well, it's from the public, yes, goes into the activity account. If the donation person says this is towards your membership account, if that person is specific to say this goes in your administrative account, then you can put it in your administrative account. So if they write that, that's where it goes, but do not solicit the people to put it in there. There are other rules where money is concerned for Leos that are different from Lions. Now, Leos are not supposed to write to sponsors and take money without giving something in return. So that board policy manual I keep referring to, when it comes on to the treasurer and how we solicit money, you need to read that policy manual because it has strict rules where that is concerned. And the more we are compliant with that is the more we create those processes, good ethical practices within ourselves. So regular board meetings. So the shared mission is that you're governed by this LCI board policy manual that everybody will look at. Disagree privately, as I said, but stand united publicly as a team. So you will have other board members, you disagree privately, but when you're standing together, you stand united. Regular board meetings, minimum monthly meetings. Quorum equals president or VP and any 3 board members. Sponsoring Lions Club advisor sits as a non-voting board member. And the accountability loop, each officer reports at every meeting. Every action item is tracked. Every loop is closed. And I think. So the administrative year roadmap, Q1, which is July to September, installations. Now, yes, installations is there, but installations could also fall in Q4 of the previous year. But there are some people who will have to do installations between July and September, especially the alphas, the school-based. Officer roster to Lion Portal by July 1. Annual plan and budget, that's Q1. Member onboarding, Q1 for those members joining. And first service projects are done in Q1, we are hoping. October is membership growth month, so you should probably be doing some things in Q1 to be able to have a successful growth month in Q2. You have a mid-year review by just checking to see, what have I done or what should I have done differently that I didn't do and what I can incorporate for the next couple of months. Holiday service projects and leadership training follow-up. And then Q3, annual report prep, district events, recruitment push, member recognition planning. And in April, which is Q4, April Leo Awareness Month, officers elections by April 15th, year-end audit, and of yourself, annual report ready for July 1 submission and transition to the next role. So those are the quick roadmap, but all of you would have had your own, each officer would have their own quarter roadmap milestones. So the bigger picture, the Leo leadership pathway, as I said, you now have a multiple district officer and a Leo district officer in 60B. So in terms of 60B is now a part of that. So as a Leo club officer, then you have the Leo district officers and the Leo multiple district officers, the Leo line cabinet liaison, who is appointed by the district governor, the Leo line council liaison. We didn't do one this year, but hopefully governors will start putting in a council liaison going forward, and they are the representative of the Leos to the Lions Council of Governors. And this is on the line structure. And then you have the Leo advisory panelists, which we have one, Leo Tristan, what's his Tristan's last name again? Oh my God, he will probably slap me. Tristan is Williams, I think. Leo advisory panelist selected by LCI board, 2-year term. And this can be a Leo and a Lion. And then the Leo Lion board liaison, advisory representative of all Leos globally to LCI International Board. And we have had a Leo Lion board liaison before. So all these levels operate in accordance to the LCI Board Policy Manual, Chapter 22, and you can find all of them, at least most of them, except these two middle ones here, the council liaison and the cabinet liaison. I don't recall seeing them explicitly in the Board Policy Manual, Chapter 22, but they're in another section, which I will share with you at a later date, but they're in another section because they really report. It was a structure that they put in so that they could be a representation on the district cabinet and on the council of the multiple districts. The official toolset and support network, digital portals on your screen, Learning Center, the portal, and there's a website on the lionsclubs.org that has the guides, the brand toolkit, the templates, the policy governance, we've spoken at length about that. And the Human Network, sponsoring Lions Club advisor, which is a required board member and mentor, your district governor, your district Leo chair, and your Leo district president, and in your multiple district Leo president as well. Your Leo Club program advisory panel, your Tristan, and if it is that you know and have access to your board liaison, that person as well. So we come to the end, we serve. Lead with integrity, serve with heart, and leave the club better than you found it. So do what you said you would do, or find some stuff that you want to say and do. Remember why you joined this movement. Sometimes it's not always for the right reasons. It could have been just for fun. That's okay too. But you will find out that our product is service. So, serve with heart. And leave the club better than you found it. The only measure that truly matters is that. Your year of service begins now. Make use of those titles. They're not for just looking pretty. They're actually for you to get work done. And that is my presentation. Over to you, Nadisha. Navinia.
Wow. Thank you so much, Lion Avaloy. Thank you so much. Excellent session. Excellent information. Love it. And from the reaction that we are seeing, I can see that our participants also agree. Are there any other questions or comment for our very able Lion Avaloy? Okay, I am not seeing any. Well, one moment.
She asked, somebody's asking, will the marketing and service chairs receive separate training?
Says, will the...
Yeah, go ahead, Navida.
Okay. No, I was going to point you to that question. There are some sessions coming up for service chair and for marketing chairs. There should have been a schedule that was circulated. If you have not received it, then you can check in with your Lions Club. There are these trainings
I can
coming
help
up.
with that. Just 1 minute.
Perfect.
I
Perfect.
think
I don't have it off the top of my head right now and accessing. So please, thank you, Lion Avaloi, for that.
and Louisiana shared an updated version, I think, with us the other day.
Yes.
Oh dear, not this one. Leo's Forever. Oh, good God. Give me 1 minute. I think my club shared it. Might have shared it.
Sure. While you are doing that, while you're looking for that for me, Lion Avaloi, thank you very much. Let me just go ahead again and just ask anybody else if there are any other questions, anything else you wanted us to cover that you thought we did not, or any recommendations to the team for the information that was shared.
All right, I found it. I hope this was the final
Okay,
one.
perfect.
So the service chair is June 1 at 7:30 EC time, which is 6:30 Jamaica time. And the membership one is June 2. If you want to go to another one, membership, June 2 at 7 p.m. EC time, which is 6 p.m. Jamaica time. Committee chairs, June 3 at 7:30 EC time, 6:30 Jamaica time. Marketing and communications chair, June 4. June 4 for marketing. And if you want to try LCI coordinating, because as Leos, you really should be giving back. That one, just clicked out of it, Jaja. LCI coordinator is June 4 at 7 p.m. So Leos, some of these, the roles of Lions and Leos, for those others, they overlap or they're similar. So we wouldn't have to have a Leo session for that, because the Lion session could actually help you work through that process. So we didn't tailor all the officers for Leos for this session, but just the first 5. And then the others, you can join the Lions at theirs. So I'll have the Leo District President circulate that full listing so that you have that to circulate to your club members.
Thank you very much for that, Lion Avaloi. Thanks for pulling up the date for me. Okay, so no other comments or questions. There was a request for the president, Leo President handout to be circulated. So what I will say to members on the call, that this is recorded and it will also be shared and circulated so that you can take your time to go through the material. And like Avaloi did put the handouts in the chat, so you can also at your leisure go over those. So thank you so much, and it's being put in the chat once again. So thank you so much for the time. Thank you. We really look forward to you being a part of this process, wishing you a successful year as we continue with the work that we do. We serve. That is what we all about. So we thank you so much for joining us. Look forward to you coming on board. You might not be in the various positions that we have next, but it's about leadership and it's about development. So please join us for the other sessions. We thank you so much, and we wish you a successful year for 26-27. All the best.